So on my most recent trip to Hawaii, I wanted to use this camera here, the Insta360 AcePro, as pretty much my daily documentation camera. And for those who aren't familiar with my channel, I normally use these types of cameras, action cameras, to pretty much film everything I do, behind the scenes stuff, all that stuff with my kids, my family. So I have these normally in my pocket. I'd rather use these types of cameras instead of my cell phone. And if you guys haven't seen my previous AcePro videos, I do have a bunch of video comparisons between this camera, the AcePro, the Action 4, as well as the GoPro Hero 12. And I'm not gonna go into every single spec of this camera in this video. I did that on my main review video. If you guys want to see that one, make sure you guys check it out below. But on my most recent trip to Maui, I did use this camera every day. So in this video, I want to talk to you about some of those things that I really like about the AcePro. And there's a couple things that were a little quirky with it as well. So we'll talk about that in this video. Now, of course, the first thing we'll talk about, because it's labeled as an action camera, this thing does really, really well as far as image stabilization. Insta360 has been well known for their stabilization, their flow state. They call it flow state stabilization. Really, really good on their 360 cameras like the X3, and of course this camera right here, which is the AcePro. When I was in Hawaii, I actually mounted this camera to the top of the ATV. This camera was hard mounted to the roll cage, and this thing was bouncing around like crazy, taking all the turns, going over all the rocks, but you would not know. The footage looks really, really smooth coming out of camera with that EIS, or electronic image stabilization, that flow state stabilization that Insta360 uses. Now, while using the camera on the ATV, the one thing I really liked is this right here. This is a magnetic mount that has clips, but not just that, it has a lock right here on the very front. And in case you accidentally press the sides or something hits the sides where you would normally release it, because of the fact that it's locked, it will not come undone. So having the peace of mind of that lock is a nice feature on this quick release mount. Also, the one thing that was really good is that when this was mounted and pointing forward, all I had to do to change it around was unclip it. So unlock it, take it off, turn the camera around, relock it just like that. And now the camera is pointed back at me. I didn't have to turn a knob or twist anything like that. I just actually had to switch the camera around, so the other half of the drive I was able to film myself. Another thing I like about this quick release feature is the fact that you can go from something like the magnets right here with the clips and hook it up, which we have here, a 1/4-20 at the very bottom. So if you have just a basic little tripod like this, you can hook it up to the 1/4-20 at the bottom, or you can flip the little 2-prong down here, which most action cameras have, and then you could hook it up to all of your standard mounts just like this. Now, another thing I really liked while riding in the ATV, and this was mounted upside down, is that flip screen. Now, some of the other action cameras do have a front screen, which is also really nice. They have a small one here just to give you some basic information. The AcePro does not have a screen here in the front to show you your video. You actually have to physically flip this screen over. Now, the 2.4-inch touchscreen is a really nice feature, because even though this was mounted in front of me here and pointed towards me, I am now able to see exactly what the camera sees in a large screen, not just a small one like some of the other cameras, but not just that, it is a full touchscreen, so I can adjust everything while the camera is pointed right back at me. Having a larger screen is a nice feature because I can put the camera a little further away and still see my subject, see myself in it, frame myself a little bit better. I can have it further away compared to some of the other cameras where you're looking at a smaller screen. Having that large screen is a really nice feature because you can also turn on the eye or face tracking, so it shows you a little box around your face, letting you know that this is what the AcePro is exposing for, that little box around that subject. Now, while I really like the screen, it did add a lot more size to the camera compared to something like the GoPro or the Action 4. Now, while the size may look minimal, it actually is a significant bump up in size compared to the Action 4, which I will normally carry as my daily cam. Next, we'll talk about image quality, and overall image quality right on par with some of the other action cameras. In fact, when it comes down to low light scenarios, the Insta360 AcePro, I think, edges out some of the other cameras in those lower light scenarios. Next, we'll talk about battery life, and the great thing about Insta360 is that they've actually done a really good job in general with their battery life on their cameras. The Insta360 X2, the 360 camera, as well as the X3 do really well in cold weather. A couple of features that I do like on the AcePro, which we don't have on the other cameras, is the ability to do things like cancel recording. So for those that don't know about cancel recording, basically if you hit record, and if you're recording for a little bit and you're like, you know what, that was like a waste of a shot. When you hit stop, all you do is press and hold it down, and then it'll automatically cancel that recording that you were just doing. Also, another feature that I do like that GoPro has on their action cameras is the ability to change the field of view directly on the screen. And this really benefits those that mount your cameras, because this, you're able to now look at the touchscreen, and I'm able to change my field of view from action to ultra wide to de-warp, as well as horizon leveling. On the GoPro, you don't have the front screen. You don't have a touch front screen. So you have to go to the back of the camera to do that. And on the DJI Action, you have to go into a side menu to change it from wide to de-warp. Here, everything is on the main screen. I do like that because it is a large touchscreen and you're able to change those perspectives. And there it is, guys. I just want to talk to you about some of the main features I really liked about the Ace Pro. Also, some of the little quirky things about it, the size, as far as, you know, kind of carrying in your pocket compared to the other action cameras. But overall, definitely happy with the quality that comes out of it. Also, some of the options and those quick features are pretty cool on this camera compared to some of the other ones. If you're like me and you use action cameras as like all-purpose cameras, not just like super action sports stuff, but for me, family, I use it for action sports. I use it for mounting on my car, mounting on a bike, chasing the kids around in the pool or at the beach. If you're like me and you have an action camera like this, the Ace Pro, GoPro 12, Action 3, Action 4 cameras, what are some of those features or main features that you look for in these types of cameras? Let me know in the comments down below. And a huge thanks to Insta360. They're actually offering an 11% discount to the first 20 people looking at ordering an Ace Pro kit. Make sure you use my affiliate link down below. As always, if you guys got some value from this video, a big like would be much appreciated. This is Anastasio with FlytPath.com. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.